Greetings, my beloved Black people. Welcome back to the plight and struggle of Black people in America. As you know, on Sundays we have the Prominent Black People series. And as you also know, we always have a very special person on that day. This is a bit unique. You know, I've mentioned that many of our guests we've known for years. Some we've just met, like literally the day before. And then we have some that are similar to both of those things that this guest is so special to me. And we're going to elaborate on a little bit during the introduction, but I just want to bring on and share her in that introduction portion. Sister Sasha Bolter. Okay, I don't know what happened. She had a situation, I guess. So I'll see if she can come back in, and I'll talk for a moment till she does get back in. And I see her flash, and she's on the way back. Hey, sister, how you feeling?
I'm good. It's playing games on us, eh?
Yeah. Hey, that's that technology for you, right?
And for me, it always happens when I have like an interview. It always happens. I don't know why.
Well, they might be trying to sabotage you, but you know the ancestors got you covered, though.
Namaste.
Absolutely.
Namaste.
That's a blessing. Absolutely. Yeah. So, sister, let me ask you this: Have you seen anything that are similar, so similar in good or bad, or so different in good or bad? When we're dealing with the diaspora of our Black people, I like to see what our African sisters and brothers that's still on the motherland, what do you see differently or similarly with our brothers and sisters that's all around?
I think we are similar in so many ways, and I'm glad that I'm traveling with a lot of people from the diaspora, especially Caribbeans and Black Americans. I have enough clients, but something that I realized about our similarities is that we have like our traditions. I've seen even from them that never gotten broken from the colonization.
Right,
but
right.
we also have our weak points, which is the divide
Right.
among.
So
Black people.
Okay, it'll probably straighten up. Seemed like a little technical difficulties for a moment. I believe it'll straighten up. I don't know if you can hear me. I can't hear you, and for right now, you're frozen. So, okay, there you are. You're back. You were back. Okay.
Lorenzo.
Okay, yes, you're back now.
Oh, you disappeared on me.
Oh, I was here the whole time, but you were frozen.
Yeah. So I was just saying. I was just saying there is the divide amongst us. Like in Africa, if we're not being divided by tribe, we are being divided by borders, or we are being divided by xenophobia. You've seen about tribalism in my country, Kenya. You've seen about it's gone and it's back. Yeah, you've seen about the xenophobia in South Africa. And then when it comes for me to travel with an African passport, I usually have a lot of problems here and there in some of our borders. In the beginning, I was blaming our people, but then I came to realize it's a systemic kind of oppression that was set there to continue neo-colonization after the independence, you know? So right. We still have a very long way to go in Africa when it comes to such things. And then what I've realized is that like when I travel with Black Americans, before we were just going to them with to them in West Africa and Southern Africa. And then I started to sell East Africa to them because I've been raised in East Africa. So, and when we started to do, and I'm taking them to like the gates of no return. In East Africa, we have the gates of no return. We have one in Zanzibar, it's called Prison Island. And then we have the other one, which is the big one. It's called Fort Jesus in Kenya. So when I took them, they were like, they were surprised to see that we have the gates of return in East Africa. And then that's when I started to understand why most of you guys, you resonate only with West Africa and East Africa. And then we started to exchange notes. And then I realized that, like, for me, in our school, they didn't much on the transatlantic slave trade, We were just taught a lot about the East African slave trade. And so for them, when they come, that is something new to them. They just know that their ancestors were sold from Ghana, Nigeria, South Africa. They didn't know about the East African slave trade. So as we travel together, for me, it's a school and I'm learning a lot. And then the other thing is that like when you guys come here, you have been bringing for too long. You just thought Africa is malaria, HIV, and the safari. Beyond that, and some of you started traveling with us, and so when they come here, they are so surprised to see that we were also. The other thing I would like to tell people from the diaspora who grew up in America and Caribbean nations and all that, Canada, wherever, when they come to Africa, they need to stop romanticizing Africa, because they just come here because they are not being treated badly because of race. They just assume that everything with us, it's all merry and it's so easy. And some of them, like even when they talk, they come, they'll see maybe the land is definitely gonna be cheaper because they are coming here with the dollar. So they will come here and probably they might be able to do things faster than someone who was born here who doesn't have the capital. And you see, like we had a discussion about a woman who spoke very bad things about the Gambia. She's American. It was all over social media. And I was saying, if you guys are going to come here, because a lot of you are coming back, most of the people who travel with me, they are coming back to buy land. At least I know in each group, if I have like 20 people, I know like 2, 3, 4, 5 are because of how they see, and they say that life is a bit cheaper here, which is true to them because they are coming with the dollar. But what they don't understand is they need to stop seeing. Some of them think that we are lazy. Some of them think that we don't see these opportunities. It's not that we are not seeing these opportunities. We are seeing these opportunities, but we have a lot of chains holding us. Getting the licenses, dealing with corruption. We have so many things we have to heal from if we are going to work together. And if they come here, we need to educate ourselves about them, and they need to educate themselves about us, because we also don't handle colonization the same. You see, like for me, when my grandmother, my dad, my mom, when they were telling me about colonization, they tell it to me like a story. We are heroes, they tell it to be in a very positive way. But I realize people from the diaspora, and I do understand them because of what has been happening in America. We've been watching, we saw what happened to George Floyd. So we understand their anger, but if they are coming to Africa, there are some things they will need to heal from, because we are going to continue crashing. Because some of them, they come and they're like, even if they see you chilling with white people, they're like, oh, what are you doing with those ones? Those ones, they sold us to slavery and all that. No, it's a different concept when you come back to Africa. I have a lot of white people who are also against racism, who are my friends. So there's a lot that they need to heal from when they want to come and invest here. And when they come here, they shouldn't think that we are stupid or we are not seeing these opportunities. We have a lot of chains in our hands that we are still struggling. Nelson Mandela said that it's not yet freedom for us. It's a long walk to freedom, So unless we educate one another about these things, we are going to crash a lot. And then we need to understand that the divide between us is not originally us. This is something that was planned by the colonizers, because once you divide people, you are able to colonize them. You are able to do whatever you want with those people. So our unity is very, very important, and I pray that it's going to happen soon.
Well, I don't know how long soon is to you, but I would say it's going to happen in less than 10 years. I believe that. As far as I'm hearing some things you're saying about us here, in the diaspora of the United States. The thing is, a lot of that I hear you say is the type of things that they will show about Black Americans here locally and everywhere. And unfortunately, we do have a significant number of Black people with that mindset. But we also have a significant number of Black people here that we love our Black African brothers and sisters everywhere. And we don't have no type of ill feel towards them because, see, they're only going to show what they believe is our worst. And then they're going to make sure they give you a big dose of it. You feel what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, we have many Black people here that we just love our Blackness. Yeah.
You disappeared.
Okay, well, I saw me the whole time. Okay, so I don't know if it acts worse when I talk or when you talk, but if you make it back, we're going to see what part did you hear, and then we'll go from there. But I'm thinking since I can see me, even though you can't, I'm thinking that the viewers can see me and hear me is what I'm thinking. But I don't know what parts you heard, but the fact of the matter is we have some of everything here in America, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I'm talking about the Black population, actually, right now. And we have those that feel ill and think ill of Black Africans, but we have those that love our Black African brothers and sisters because we know we are Africans. You feel me? And so we have many Blacks here in America that love our Black brothers and sisters all over Africa, no matter where they are. We love y'all. We do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
I know. Yeah, I know that because I also don't understand it. Because like when I talk to people, Black people from Africa who are living in America, especially, when I speak to them, they say that Blacks there don't like them. Not all of them,
Right.
But yes, and also when some of my people from Africa, they ask me like, how do you manage these people? Because they are very, very difficult, and we don't get along with them when we're in America. We are better off even with white people,
Right.
But I say I don't support that because that was not originally us. That's why I'm saying we need a lot of self-education, because even the education that we received in the systemic schools has nothing to do with us. It just taught us about the divide. And that's why you see, like in my country, people can mess you up when the president messes up because he's from your tribe, while the president doesn't even know, like there's a girl by the name Sasha. He's never paid my school fees. My parents have had to work their way up for me to be where I am today. So unless we educate ourselves as Black people about these things, we are going to continue crashing with one another. We are going to continue oppressing one another. And it's very, very ugly when it's Black on Black.
Absolutely.
It's so ugly when it's Black on Black. And what I know is that there's a lot of things that were broken during colonization. We used to have tight-knit families. If you want to colonize someone, the first thing you do is, once you break their family, you got them,
That's right.
And we see now, we are the highest with the single mothers in the entire world, Black men are the highest in abusing African women,
I'm so surprised at that.
Yes, especially in Africa, they abuse. We have a lot of.
I'm so surprised at that, because here in America, Black men be talking the talk of, hey, we got to protect our women. And I hear so many Black men here in America think that Black men in Africa are doing so well in that realm. People here assume things. Maybe what's happening is, while they show us so horrifically around the world, they show y'all, some of the men, better than what they are to make us look bad or worse than what they do already. Because Black people, I believe, no matter where you are, we are, no doubt, the original human beings on earth, period. There's no argument there. We are the original people. But I have to suspect that us Black Americans that have went through this carnage in America and still have our right mind and heart, I think it's got to be something special about us. You feel what I'm saying? Because we went through such a horrific experience, mentally, emotionally, physically, everything else, then, now, and forevermore, I'm sure. But when we unite and utilize our resources, we'll overcome all of that. And I'm talking about just here in America. So imagine us around the world, united and
Yes.
loving our Black brothers and sisters, knowing that the melanin people, we are the original people, so it's only normal and natural for humans to love humans. You hear me? That's what
Yes.
that is. So yeah, there's good, bad, and ugly in every group. That's just the real. But we love y'all for sure, and we love saying it too because it's true.
Yeah, we love you too, and it's just the miseducation that is our biggest problem.
Well, only thing I would change is the word just. Miseducation is one aspect they use because they use many. So it's not just miseducation, it's miseducation, it's racism, divide and conquer, redlining, and everything else. And we're constantly targeted. We've got to realize and believe it and know it. You feel me? Sadly, in some cases, the oppressed takes on the ways of the oppressor, like being greedy and hateful and valuing money more than human life. That's not normal. You feel me? That's not what it should be like. And most people are not like that, but the few that are, especially when they're Black, they're going to highlight that news all day, every day. You feel me? And the good deeds that may be done, you may not even get to see or know about it. That's the way they operate. And it's around the world. And we need to get that message out there. Black people, wherever you are, we are of the same people. And we're supposed to love everybody, so we sure are supposed to love ourselves first. No doubt about that. That's real truth.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's a long walk to freedom. I think if I touch on the repatriation back to Africa, what I know right now, a lot of Black Americans, a lot of Jamaicans, they are repatriating back to Africa. I don't have a problem with that. I do support that. Okay. But then the way I know how our system is set, they need to know how they are coming back. They need to know how they are being protected. Like now, President Addo of Ghana is giving them citizenship. He's actually given them IDs. The people who are doing business, he's given them IDs. So these people who are just coming back to Africa blindly, they need to know that we have our own struggles. They might end up using their money and end up not having that land, you know. It has happened to us. If it can happen to me, and I am, let me say, like someone like me, I have had my own struggles in Tanzania, but I can speak in Swahili, so I can only imagine how difficult the situation would be for someone who cannot understand the language. So they need to stop just coming back to Africa without a plan. Let them, if there's a group of women from America who've been traveling to Kenya, and some of them wanted to buy land and everything, and we helped them with this procedure. We introduced them to the people in the government who can help them with the process of getting the legal documents. Yes. Because what I know in Africa, and the way some of you are coming are very, very arrogant and very, very rude. And some of you think that we are stupid. We ain't stupid. We have our own struggles in this continent that you would not even imagine. For you, it might be just you are being mistreated because of the color. For us, we have tribal war, we have xenophobia, we have the borders. We have like 3 wars. You're dealing with only 1 war. We have 3 of them. So they need to educate themselves about these things.
And that's what we're doing.
They need to educate themselves about this. Yeah, they need to educate themselves about these things, because I know my Africa. They will invest here in a few years' time. If a Nigerian is having a problem in South Africa and he was born and bred in Africa, what about someone who cannot even speak a second language? For all of us, we speak at least 3 to 4, 5 languages. Right. So you're just coming here with the colonial language. You understand?
Yeah.
So even if I am, maybe I've taken you somewhere to go and buy a piece of land, I can talk to the owner and tell him, no, tell him it's this much, you know, because you don't understand my language. Right, so I would say that when they are coming back to Africa, let them stop coming here very aggressive and thinking that we are stupid or we don't see the opportunities or we are very, very lazy. We are not lazy. Like I said, for me, traveling with an African passport in Africa is a problem. For me, traveling with an African passport in Asia is still a problem. For me to travel with an African passport in European nations is still a problem. If I am a foreigner in Africa, where do I belong?
True.
So they need to understand these battles. You understand?
Right.
It's not as easy as they just look and they romanticize Africa, and some of them are like, oh, there's so many opportunities. These people are lazy. We ain't lazy. We are chained in so many ways.
Right. And I've never known for Black Americans to think that Africans were lazy. I've never heard that mindset in America about Africans ever. So where do you hear that at? Where do you hear that Black Americans think? Yeah.
I've traveled with people who think like that. I've traveled with people who think like that. I've traveled with people who think they feel superior because they are coming here with the dollar. And when they exchange it, it's a lot of money. You understand?
Right,
Which is a colonial brain game, because some of them usually come and they tell me, oh, we want to come and promote African people who are doing African things and everything. Then I take them to the Maasai. You are going to the Maasai. This man is selling whatever he's selling just to get food and school fees and rent for his children.
Right.
And you want to bargain something for $50 and you're saying that you're promoting your Black Africans, yet you have slept in a 5-star hotel. You have paid $500 per night and you don't bargain. That's why I'm saying we need a lot of education.
Absolutely.
You take them to these, yes, I take them to these people who are selling handbags. A handbag is $50. You will find every girl in Africa is having that bag, but for them, I take to that shop and they say it's expensive, but they are still trying to look down upon us because they have $1. So that's why I say it's a mind game. It's a mind game. Fine, you're going to change it into shillings. It's going to be a lot of papers, but the value is still the same. If I'm buying the bag for 5,000 Kenya shillings, that is $50. So I have women who are rocking those bags. Teenage girls are rocking those bags here in Africa. But if you're coming and you're saying it's expensive, then I just think there's a lot of colonization that has been done to us and we don't understand these things. It's education. If we are going to come out of this, it's education. If you are going to come out of this, first of all, we have to self-educate. Like you see, for myself in Africa, when I started to travel with the Blacks from diaspora, especially Black Americans and the Jamaicans, they really helped me a lot to understand that even Christianity was part of colonization.
Okay.
And yes, and when I started to speak about it, I'm speaking it to people who have been indoctrinated since they were kids. The indoctrination process in Africa starts since you're 7 years. You are told from 7 years you are a sinner. You will ask. I used to ask, how am I now a sinner? But you just shut when you're asking a lot of questions. So and then the people from the diaspora, they gave me a lot of education. And when I was pouring it to my people, they used to come and insult me. Some were saying that I am no longer worshiping God. I'm a devil worshiper. And I came to read somewhere where, because I watch a lot of the people who tried to fight for our civilization back in the day. And I saw where Malcolm X had said, for a people indoctrinated for too long, you have to give them education in small doses, like medicine, lest they turn against you. Then now I started to understand whatever I'm learning, I cannot just come and pour it to them. Because even me, the people who are educating me, it was reaching to a point, they're telling me things and I'm like, are these people trying to make me worship the devil or something? Because now you have been going to church all your life. You had been funding the church all your life. That is the only life you are taught. You are taught your life is in the church.
Right.
That's so. And then now this person is coming to teach me against the church. You know, that's how I will think. But now I see they were not trying to teach me against the church. They were just trying to show me, open your eyes.
Right. In your mind.
You understand?
Yes.
Yeah. Open your eyes. Open your mind. These people in the Catholic Church, I have watched so many dehumanizing videos on YouTube and everything they did. Not only to us Black people. I saw one, they were killing children in India. They have mass graves. They were doing the same in Canada. They have mass graves all over, you know. So a lot of people with dark energy like to hide themselves behind the church.
Right, absolutely.
You know? Yes.
Mhm.
And then when I started to open my eyes, I started to just whatever I pick, I pour it. And social my until my page was reported and it was disabled, you know. So
Mhm.
we have to, when we are giving people education, we have to first understand where are they coming from, you know.
Absolutely, right. No
Yeah,
doubt.
like today I was talking to a young woman and she's very angry at the mother and everything. And I sent her the video of Oprah where Oprah say the title is actually the only one person that Oprah could not forgive, and it was her mother.
Mm-hmm.
And she said holding a grudge for too long against her mother because she was very angry when she was small. There is a time she slept outside while
Mm-hmm.
her mother was inside with white people's kids, you know?
Right.
And she was taken to live with the grandmother, and she had all this pain in her heart until she came to self-educate herself and realized that her mother was working in a house where she was already colonized. It's not like she hated Oprah to take care of these white kids and
Right.
Oprah to sleep outside. She was working. It was her job. She was under colonization. So if she's been told no black child in my house, she couldn't have allowed that. And it took Oprah a very long process to forgive her mother. And this is what I tell Africans. We have to understand that we are coming from very dark places. And I told that girl, you have to understand your mother, the way you feel like she's treating you, you have to understand she was raised by parents who were being beaten by the white people. And it's the only way they know. They only know how to be barbaric. They don't know any other language. So you need to start finding yourself to reach to a point where you understand her so
Mm-hmm.
that you can forgive her, knowing that she's coming from a very dark place. And it's not like she hates you. And it's not like she's treating you like that because she's a bad mom. That is
Right.
the only thing she knows. And
Yeah.
we are the generation to break that. That is why we are self-educating ourselves to understand that even the education we were given was part of colonization.
Yes. And they continue to do so. So that's why when you have your story, you need to share it because so many people can have a better life because of the knowledge and experience and things you've been through. And I can tell, and we both know you're the type of person that you love to help people, period. I do too, which is kind of different in our presentations, I believe. I'm a little rougher. But yeah, you definitely, and that's what draws me to you. Because you say philanthropist, I say humanitarian, but you're a humanitarian as well. Absolutely. And
Thank you. Thank
I
you.
love people, but whatever you have to do, you need to prioritize, especially when you have limited resources. And my resources are
Yes,
very limited. What I have mostly is time. And so, yeah, I love people, but I prioritize with Black people. And then anybody that gets in the way when we're giving our help, they'll get it. They don't have to be Black because children is what we focus on. And yes, we focus on the less fortunate, those with less opportunities to help. And unfortunately, those happen to be Black people. I'm going to say unfortunately because we're Black, and it's unfortunate that my people are not excelling to the level that we can if we were united. You feel me? Collectively.
yes,
And the great part is, it doesn't take all of our people to unite to make life better for all of our people. And that's what's so great. We're that
yes,
powerful. We're that powerful because the thing is this: when we do the love and show the love, most people are bandwagon people. And when they see that you love your people and you're doing things to help your people, in our case, we're talking about doing it for free, you know they coming. You know they coming. And that's the way life should be. People should do for people. That's the way life should be going for everyone. Because everybody don't need the same thing. Rich people don't need money. But sometimes they
no,
need a hug. They might need a hug
yes,
or a word of
yes,
encouragement or just let
yes.
somebody know, I appreciate all that you did and all that you do. Sometimes people give and nobody even say thank you. You know,
True.
that's
Yeah,
ridiculous, but that's the world we live in. But we
yeah,
can
yeah.
make it better.
I like the part you're saying about kindness.
Yes.
And the fact that you think I'm more kind than what you're used to there. And I am glad that I've done all these things. I've been running a bed and breakfast and all that. And what you're saying is true. Like, and I'm not saying everybody, but I've seen your people
Absolutely.
cling on what they have, And for us, we grow up
become
being
very materialistic. You're right.
yes,
Very materialistic.
yes. That's something I've learned. But for us, you see, even like a country like Kenya, you can come online and you find that I'm fighting with another Kenyan. The minute you attack me, the Kenyan forgets that you are attacking me and is going to support the Kenyan, And I've realized, yes, and in my country, you see, we can be divided by tribalism, by the politicians and all things they say.
A lot of
but
that
put
looks
out,
like.
put out there that Lorenzo is sick, and I tell them, please, can we just be there for Lorenzo? They will be sending money if it's money for hospital or whatever is needed.
Right. That's cool. That's the way it should
so
be.
Yes, and I realize I also understand you people because I know what you went through and what you're still going through. And the only Africans that I can connect with you guys is South Africans, because they have also been in so much pain that they are so aggressive. And that's what also I noticed, especially with the
right? Apartheid.
Yes. Yeah, especially with Jamaicans, they are very, very aggressive, very, very aggressive, So, and it's all this miseducation, I see people are celebrating divorce. That was not originally us.
Right.
I am happy that women are able to live because they have been oppressed for too long. I am happy that they have a voice now. I am happy that they have courts that can help them to get out of bad marriages, not to be killed, But all this was brought by colonization. We never had the divorce court, and they knew very well. The minute you are breaking a family, you have those people completely. If I come and I find that you and your wife, you're at loggerheads and your children, it will be very easy for me to penetrate, to destroy all of you as an enemy, pretending to be a friend of all of you. And that's what has been happening in Africa,
In America also, they do that with what they call politics. And they act like there's two political parties, really one, and they're all controlled by Caucasian, primarily men. And where some of us are in situations we have where in an election, black people will vote for a Democrat, 98% black people. That's totally ridiculous. You feel me? So they're beating us up pretty much over here too. But we have those strong that will survive. One thing about it, they hinder us and hurt us, but they can't stop us. They can't.
I know.
That's
and then you see also for you, when you come now, if we compare, like if we are comparing our lives politically, for you guys, you have freedom of speech.
To a certain degree.
To a certain degree.
Not across the board, yes.
Yes, not across the board. So it's the same thing for me. Okay, Kenya is one of the, we are lucky, Kenya is one of the African countries that have freedom of speech, but it depends with who is the president now.
Okay,
yes. So I don't see it as freedom if I can be arrested because I spoke my mind, or I can risk my life because I spoke my mind. So that's why I say when Nelson Mandela said, it's a long walk to freedom, he was very, very right. When he was saying that, I was still very young. I didn't understand. But now that when I'm finding myself deep-rooted as an African, I'm starting to understand those words. I'm starting to understand everything Malcolm X said, everything Martin Luther King said, everything that Nyerere, who happens to be like, he's one of the best presidents that we've ever had in Africa, because after independence, they were taking African presidents to England to go and teach them how to come back and neo-colonize us.
Okay.
So, yes, and when they were going there, you should read his autobiography. I was reading it. Oh, I don't want to be emotional. Oh, God keep him well. His book. I wish every African could read his book. They would just understand the systemic oppression.
And which book is that? Which book is that?
Nyerere's autobiography. The first president of Tanzania.
Okay, great. Thank you for
Yes,
that information. Yes.
yes.
Hmm.
So, and when they were going to England, my first president, Jomo Kenyatta, they were going with private choppers and everything.
Hmm.
For him, he went with a normal flight. And when he reached there, Queen Elizabeth was so surprised. And then he's like, why did you come like this? And, they now want to bring the entourage for him. And he's like, no, 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 no. I came here to represent the normal Tanzanian. I was watching one of his videos when they were teaching about us just giving away our land during the time of Rhodesia. So they went and tried that. When they did that in Zimbabwe, they went and tried that in Tanzania. And
Okay.
Nyerere refused. He was like, okay, fine. Back then they were giving him, like, if they want that piece of land, they were giving him like $3,000. That must have been a lot of money back then. But he said, okay, fine, we are going to take this money and then we are going to give you the land of our people. What will happen to our people when that money is gone?
Hmm. And the
And
land
I
is gone
wish,
too.
yes, and I wish that all the East African presidents had supported his mission, because that was deep. That was deep, because I've been living in Tanzania, and I can tell you, because I travel Africa, Tanzania is the only country I've seen, even like a poor person, even if they're living in the ghetto, it is their house. They have built their house in that ghetto,
Okay.
you know?
Yeah.
Yes. So I think he laid a very good foundation for his country. If you look at it deeply, like in Tanzania, you cannot be a foreigner and just get citizenship easily. So when you are going there as a foreigner, you're definitely gonna see why are they like this and all that. But when I look at it deeply and I compare it with my country, Kenya, where we have opened doors for everyone, Tanzania
Right.
has
Right.
never been bombed, but we have been bombed in enough times, So I think the foundation of their country is very, very beautiful. And I think the other African countries should try to emulate that. We have President Kagame right now, and we have the President of Ghana. They are doing quite well. We have Julius Malema also, who is I like his, as long as he's not inciting people. Sometimes he can incite the people, but as long as not, he can incite the people. As long as
Right.
he's not inciting the people and he's fighting for a United States of Africa, which is something that the late Gaddafi died.
Yes.
Gaddafi died
Yes.
because of that. Because Gaddafi was fighting for the gold dinner. He wanted, like, if they are taking our resources, they shouldn't pay us with dollars, pounds, or euros. They have to pay us in dollars, because in gold, because the
And
gold does
gold.
not, yes, it does not depreciate. And then our people are brainwashed with all the lies are cooked, and then this person is killed and you're shown that he was a bad person while he was your Messiah. He was trying to save you from slavery. So it's
Absolutely.
a lot of education for our people here in Africa, and
Yeah.
I think it's the
And for
same for
our
you guys.
people here too, because a lot of people here don't know Obama had a big to do with that man being murdered. Some
Yes,
of our people do know. If you notice the type of people that I interview, not all of them, but some of them, they're real heavy into the black love and they know what's happening like you do. But too many of us don't know. And those that do know, we need to share this knowledge with our sisters and brothers. Some won't listen, but we got to do the work and hope for the best. That's what we have to do. Put in the
it's
work. We got to
yeah.
put in the work.
It's true. We have to put in the work, and then also we have to start teaching our children the real history, because what we got in school is not, it's absolutely not our history. I have been to, I don't know how many museums in Africa,
Mm-hmm.
and I went to the human science of whatever in Zimbabwe. I've been to the one in Botswana. I've been to the one in South Africa. I've been to the one in Zambia. I've been to our museum here in Kenya. I've been to one in Kigoma in Tanzania, and a few other countries. And all these museums, they are talking about Dr. Livingstone. You know, white Jesus, like he came to save us.
I don't know this
He,
guy. Who is this Livingston guy?
Livingstone, I think he was from England, so we are taught like he's the one who came and he saved us from like colonization and all that.
Oh,
There's
okay.
no, yes, and then you find there's a school. My friend's kid was going to a school in Dar es Salaam, and she had to change the child from that school because they are being taught that the Mau Mau were terrorists, the Mau Mau and the Maji Maji rebellion. Maji Maji rebellion was like the Mau Mau of Tanzania, you know.
Right,
They are
right,
being
right.
taught that they were terrorism. So you see, what kind of education are we putting in our kids' heads?
Well,
Me,
let
I
me ask you
personally,
this. Let me ask you this. Those that are teaching that, are these black teachers and black administrators? Who is putting this on the people? Are these white people or black people that put it
what?
in the educational system? Who is putting this in the educational system? Are those black leaders?
It is, yes, of course, it's our leaders. Like you see, I have iTech. I have an iTech. I have iTech. I did my cosmetology,
Mm-hmm.
and I have an iTech certificate diploma. You know, so and it is not. It comes from the UK. Like everything for us in Kenya, it has to come from the UK. So that's why I'm saying it's long walk to freedom. You know,
Yes,
it's long.
yes.
Yes,
Now let's
yes,
let's make it clear for viewers. Now it comes from the UK, but then it comes to the hands of black people that feed it to the black children.
yes,
Right? So
yes.
that needs to be
So
fixed. Yeah.
yes, and then the way the system has been set for us, you feel your parents send the farm because they stopped teaching us about agriculture. I am thankful that Tanzania has taught me a lot about agriculture. Ghana has taught me a lot about agriculture, and Uganda. Those are the three countries that I've been to where they are focusing on agri-tourism. For us, when we were growing, we were being shown that a farmer is a useless person. It's someone without education and everything. So you find African parents in Kenya, they sell their farm to take me to school, to a colonized systemic school.
Mm-hmm.
And then I finish school, that is 8 years in primary school. And then I go to secondary school. Still this, I'm getting education from outside systems
Right,
for
right.
another 4 years. Yes, 4 years. I
Yeah.
finish, if I finish and I pass, I go to a university in Kenya for another 4 years. And then my parents, they decide, no, this one, we want to send her abroad to go and upgrade, you know.
Right,
So when they
right.
decide that, I can go for the visa like up to 6 times, and I'm not paying, each time I'm paying not less than $200. And when they deny me the visa, I am not they're not returning my money.
No
I
refund.
pay again. I pay again. I pay
Oh
again. You
my
find there are
goodness.
people. I have a cousin who tried 7 times. Now he's in the US. He was a teacher in Kenya. When he went there to the US, he had to do odd jobs like become a gardener, or I know they are paid a lot of money, you know. But
Yes.
he was a graduate. You see, so this is what I call systemic colonization. You know, because now 8 years plus 4 years plus another 4 years, and then I go to European countries, and they do not recognize all this education I got from Africa. They do not recognize it completely. I have to go back to school again. I
Do it
think,
all
you know,
over.
yes. So the system has been set for us to fund European nations without having to be chained. So we are economically chained, and we have leaders who do not want to acknowledge this. For as long as they can ride in choppers, they can live in mansions, and they can drive those
Yeah.
fuel-consuming guzzlers. So it is,
Right.
Mandela was right. It's a long walk to freedom.
Very long. Absolutely. But we that know better have to help our people do better. And I say primarily through example. We can talk about it, but we have to do it. We have to live it, walk the walk, not just talk the talk. And that's what we're wanting to do.
It's
But sharing
it's
knowledge
not.
helps as well.
Again, it's not as easy as you might think,
It's
because
not easy at all, actually.
yes, the middle class are the ones who enable the systemic oppression, whether it's in Africa, whether it's in Kenya, whether it's in America, whether it's in Asia. They are the ones who are enabling this white supremacy. And now we have Asian supremacy in Africa because our leaders are borrowing from China every day. A child in Kenya is born with a forehead that is having a debt that he's going to pay for the rest of his life. You know, my
Right.
parents at my age, they were settled. My grandparents at my age, they were settled. They had farms, they had their own houses. I am still struggling even to own something very little. You understand? Because
Yes.
now my generation was also brainwashed now completely. Now we are the most educated. We think we are educated, but that was not education. That was colonization. That is why you find in Kenya men who have PhDs. When a politician says, "Oh, we are," they are going to give us back the votes. You find someone with a degree throwing stones. So is that education even helping us? It's not.
Right. In most cases, it doesn't. Because people get a college degree and can't get a job in that field. Then they have to just do something totally different. And then they yet have student loans that they have to pay back. That's here in the United States.
Exactly. That's what I was talking to my cousin about. I was telling him, so now you did up to standard 8, standard from 4, and then you did a degree in Kenya, and then you went to the US now to start afresh, and you will pay that debt until the day you die.
Absolutely. Yeah, you sure will. So it's a big scam,
I think we're also willing slaves. That's what I think, because
some people are. Some people are.
Yes, because we know these things are happening, but for as long as I have a roof over my table, my children are going to a good school, I'm driving a nice car, I have food, I don't care about the next person, And this is why I'm saying that the middle class are the ones who are holding this because it's colonization, and then our leaders are their pieces of colonization. Every time they go and borrow a loan, and then the Asians and the Europeans are coming here to take our land because they borrowed money that we did not even go to our hospitals, did not even go to our infrastructure, did not even go to the housing of the poor, but we still have to pay it. So this is where I say the African man is the most weak man in the world, because Asian and European men, they are amassing wealth for their first to their 50th generation, and the African man is selling his children like goats to the Asians and the Europeans. It's a long walk to freedom. Yeah, it's a long walk to freedom.
Yeah, but it's a horrible thing too that they are doing that type of thing just for them to have a financial, materialistic life. That's a horrible thing. They're selling the souls of everything just for material things, and that's of no value. You see, but I believe, there's got to be some pocket of men in Africa doing better than what you displayed. But you did say Ghana and Tanzania men doing a lot better, I suspect, and hopefully.
Yeah, yes, their system is set very, very well, because I had a case against a former employer, and he tried to, because he was white, he thought like he can go and bribe and my case can be done away with. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. But trust me, if it was in Kenya, I would have lost. If it was in Kenya, my country, and I'm not trying to downplay my country because I live in Tanzania, I've just been watching the systems. Yes, I've just been watching the systems of the countries that I've been working, I've been traveling to, or even working in, And I think Kenya, we say we are so educated, but I think when it comes to matters of politics and religion, we are so illiterate.
So let me ask you this. Does it look like to you that the men in Kenya, even in authority, feel inferior to Caucasian men? Do you think that's the case?
Of course, because why are they selling us into slavery? We are not going to be chained like our ancestors. We are not going to be caned like our ancestors. But if I have to just keep on working and my salary is being slashed half because a politician went and borrowed a loan that did not even get to the hospital,
See,
until when?
That makes me think of something. It seemed like I mentioned to you before when we first met, which I don't know how long, it's been months. But I remember I told you, because I'm from Philadelphia originally. And I came to Dallas, Texas at the age of 20. I'm 63 now. And there's a lot of Africans in Dallas, a lot of Nigerians, and there's some Kenyans as well. And I met a Kenyan man that he had been here for 5 years in Texas. And he didn't even have no accent whatsoever. You wouldn't even know he ever been to Africa. But I met a Nigerian man that been here for 30 years. And he sounded like he just got here yesterday. So I'm trying to see what is that? What is that?
That's what I'm talking about. We Kenyans, we are proud of being colonized. You know,
Ooh.
you find people from like, oh, my child does not know how to speak Swahili, and I'm so proud of that. Can you imagine?
Oh, wow.
So if we are going to be
That is
colonized,
a slave
because
mind. They have
yes,
something called Stockholm Syndrome, and that
yes,
sounds like that. And then they have
we,
something else generated called the Willie Lynch syndrome as well. Yeah. So yeah,
yes,
those sound like they do like being slaves. You're right.
it is true. Yeah, because you see,
Yeah.
like now in Tanzania, why I'm giving an example with Tanzania, been there long enough to just watch, and I'm like, oh, they did better, because after independence, we remained with the colonial languages, whatever. I remember I used to be whooped in school if I speak in Swahili. Like, you're being whooped completely and you're being given punishment. Yes,
So they're
that's why
trying
you
to
see me.
whoop the black out of you. Oh
Yes,
wow. That's
yes,
deep.
that's why I always write that in Africa, especially in Kenya, the small slave is colonized in school.
Wow.
The small, we were whooped. We would be given, like, if you speak in Swahili, they used to call them montos, like a bone that a dog has eaten and it's smelly. You're being told to put it here, so you will make sure that you don't speak in Swahili, so that you don't put. Yes, we were
Wow.
colonized. We were colonized in Kenyan schools. We were colonized.
So when you get whooped over, black people whooping you for that, or white teachers?
Yes, no, black teachers.
Black teachers. Wow,
Yes,
that's
black
terrible.
teachers. Yes,
That's
we
terrible.
were colonized in Kenya. We were colonized as children. We were the small slave also is being colonized with a whoop at school.
Oh
The small
wow.
slave also. Hey, you. It's not. That's why
That's
I say
terrible. That's terrible.
it's yes. So you
Yeah.
people, you have to understand, we're also coming from a very, very dark place. And what I was trying to say is, now it was being seen like we are posh, we are what, because we can speak in English. But Nyarara said no. They will speak in Swahili. Nobody is speaking. They were colonized by Germans. He said nobody is speaking German here. Tanzania is the only country that I think in the world that didn't go through that. He refused. So now you come in Tanzania, you find a white person is the one to learn their language, not them to learn the white person's language, or the Asian. You,
Right.
Sasha, you are the one who is coming from Kenya. You are the one to learn Tanzanian language, not for Tanzanians to learn your language.
Right.
And I
Right.
think that is why I say it is one of the stable countries in Africa,
Fresh.
even in their leadership. Our
Right.
leadership, it goes through tribe and everything. In Tanzania, it goes through religion. So if this year the president was a Christian, next time the president will be a Muslim. Like that. That's why you see Tanzania, there is no war even after election, because their things were Nyerere systemically set everything for them in a positive way. So when you
Yeah.
see Nigeria, there is war after election. South Africa, you will never see that from Tanzania. So
Cause it's not
it's a lot.
supposed to. Right.
Yes, so it's a lot of education between us, and then also we have to come back to building together as a community. We don't have that. I've tried
See,
enough
but this is
businesses.
a tool that we can use for that. Because let me give you another example. In America, a lot of times black people get murdered by police officers and nothing happened to them. But guess what? Through these tools that they call telephones, right? But they're computers that have these other attachments. There's police officers that are in prison because of the recordings people have caught on these phones that they wouldn't have been in prison otherwise. So things are happening. Tools are being developed that we can utilize to help ourselves. Just like you and I are talking about what we're talking about, there'll be millions to see and hear it. You feel me? So we can help somebody help themselves. And that's what it's all about, helping somebody.
And that's what I'm saying. The middle class everywhere in the world, they hold the systems because they're just living a comfortable life, and that's all that matters, But in the middle class,
that's all they want.
Some people, But if they decided to, we really want change, I think things would change. Like I was seeing about America, because I didn't know why you guys are so jailed, and that is one thing that they're trying to dismantle the black man, so they jail you guys for even the tiniest things. And then I came to realize that in America, prisons are people's businesses.
Absolutely. It's privatized,
people
much
are
of
paid.
it.
Yes,
Yeah.
people are. I was so shocked. I learned that the other day that people are being paid for every head in prison. Someone, the owner of prison, is making $100 per day
Or more. Yes, that's part of it. So that's like the new slavery for sure. And
Yes,
guess
it is.
what? I don't know if you saw the interview with Richard Miles. I did, a brother here in Dallas, Texas. He was
Mhm.
incarcerated as an innocent man and did 17 years or 16. But whatever it was an organization that freed innocent people. And that's how he got out. And they estimate that 10% of incarcerated people are in prison. 10% of them. And it's more than a million. So that's more than 100,000 people. And out of
Yes,
those, the highest percentage is black men.
it's black. Yes,
Absolutely.
yes,
And it's not
yes.
accidental either. Yeah.
It's not accident. I watched the whole clip. I think I'm going to share it under this video. I watched
That'd
it
be
and I was
great.
like, oh my god, prison is a business for someone, and that is the same thing like in Africa. Why I am against funding. I
Mm.
found there are a lot of people who like call me that they want to do what I'm doing about the pads and everything, that we join hands and all that.
Mm.
I have people that I have joined hands with, and I know they are truly for this mission. But I know
Right,
of
right.
people who tell me to register so that I can be getting funds. I cannot do that. My parents, if there is something that my parents taught me, I'd rather die poor. But my parents taught me integrity. I will never sell my integrity for whatever amount of money. So, and what I've realized with all these people who are pretending that they come here with aid, because I'm asking, I found aid since I was born. I'm 42 years old. How come there are still poor people in my neighborhood? Because poverty is a business for the elite all over the world. So
I'm
unless people
sure.
educate themselves about these things, we are still gonna be rotating. We are actually the children we read about, the Israelites we read about who stayed in prison for in a operation for 40 years. I think those is us Africans. I think
Yes,
it's
yes.
us black people, and these
Yes.
stories are just created to make you accept you slave, you have to obey your master and everything. They even translate the Bible according to what they want, and that is why it is very difficult to save the black man, because he has been indoctrinated since the day he stepped on this world.
That's true. But there's another black man and group of black men that see through that and learn through that. I don't know if you know. I know you know probably Dr. Ben Kenyatta, something like that. I don't know, John Henry Clark, but there's black historians
Yes,
that have seen and dug and shared that knowledge, and now we have it. So we have to share with our sisters and brothers, then they can have it. And when you give the proper information to people, it will resonate internally. And when somebody embraces something with their mind, heart, and soul, it's going to make a difference. See, and when you're doing the proper things, people will know you're a sincere, righteous person. I mean, action speaks far louder than words. Words are great, but action tells what's real. And when you're helping people in the areas they need help, they'll appreciate it because they know it's out of love. That's what most people don't have in their life is love. No matter what category of people you talk about, what level of income, too many people don't have love in their life. Sadly, most families are dysfunctional. And families don't have love in your family, how are you going to make it? Okay, making it is more than money and finances. You can have all the money in the world and lose your mind. So what good is money then? It's no good. So doing the right thing is the best thing. That's for sure.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes,
it's a long journey for us. Please, if you have a
but
child, if you have children, please try and do better.
yeah, and then the thing about it, we're going to constantly do things, say things, and share things that's going to help people understand some things that they don't yet. You feel me? So as long as we
Yeah,
constantly putting in the work and we know is what people need to know about that they don't know yet, you're constantly helping people. And that's the talking information part. But then we do things and create organizations and institutions that give them what they need free of charge. They know
yeah,
you're not playing this. Let me tell you, I look at this. I know you probably heard of Marcus Garvey before. I don't know if you know the
yeah,
works of Marcus Garvey. Okay, that brother was from Jamaica. And what he did here, the smallest number I ever heard was 5 million strong in his organization. The high I heard was 8 million. But what I just realized through doing this podcast, doing a little research, I knew what he did, but it never dawned on me until thinking about it. That brother did all of that in 6 years. That's not a very long time. And he wasn't even from here, and he didn't have all these technological devices. So I know we can do it, and we're going to, for sure, without question.
We can do it only when we get out of our comfort zone.
But that's why I told you, and we're going to. Like you said earlier, some people, they just want to enjoy the fruits of their labors. Okay, they make a lot of money, they like vacation, and that's what they do. They're not going to get into any type of fight for anything that's not for them and their family directly. That's their choice. But it's to each his own. We'll always have warriors that will stand up for the masses that's less fortunate. And I'm one of them, and you're one of them. And we're going to create some more.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah, no doubt. And I really appreciate you coming on. And hopefully we can have you in the future whenever you want to. We'll do it.
We'll do it. We have a lot of topics to cover. We'll do it over and over again. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I appreciate you so much. I do.
Thank you.
And you have a very pleasant day. Okay, sister?
Thank you. Thank you.
Baby. Take care, beautiful.
Okay, Mama. All right.
Wow, 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 I love my people. Wow, I love my people.